Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of Let's Talk About Work. All right, and I am here with the brand master, the mastering of your brand guru, the incomparable, the gorgeous, the brilliant, the person who, if she goes missing off social media for a week, there's a hashtag trending. Bring back Cher Jones. This is how awesome she is. Cher Jones, welcome to the show.
Let's talk about work, baby. Let's talk about you and me. I swear, when you were doing that intro, that's all I was thinking about. Is that song in my head. So,
I like to say, let's talk about employees. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things they may see when they come to work.
You see, that's what I'm talking
about. Work.
Let's talk about it. Exactly. I've been caught now singing on a few of my own pieces of content, and I just say consider that my gift to you because not everybody gets to hear that.
I heard you. You were singing. You can ring my bell. I called that. I loved it. I'm telling
you. So everybody watching right now, if you are on LinkedIn, make sure you go and ring Natasha's bell. Just go on her profile. You'll see a little bell because this is brand new on LinkedIn, where you can ring a bell and make sure you get awesome content just like this because you know she brings it.
Oh, well, so do you. And, I love that. That goes exactly into what we're going to talk about, right, tonight. Because we want a brand to know you, right? Yes. A brand new you in 2022. And I did not misspell that. I want to make sure that at the end of 2022, that a brand new you. And one of the ways you can do that is exactly what you just said, because as we know on LinkedIn, that's my primary platform. I don't do too much on anything else. But as you know, the algorithm, right? It picks what content people get to see. But if you ring our bells, then you're going to get notified every time we post. So I would encourage you to go out and tell your followers to ring your bell so that, people know that, you're on, you posted some content, right? So that's the first bit of advice that Cher gave me. Was that this year or last year?
Well, this is just this year because this is a brand new actually, so no, we're 2022 now. So it was last year, but yeah, this is something pretty new. So this was like very new into like mid-December when that came out. And I was like geeking out because it hadn't been released to everybody yet. And so if you don't see it yet, that just means they haven't unlocked that feature on your profile yet, but it's coming. It's just how LinkedIn rolls things out. But it's definitely something that you want to take advantage of if you are a content creator, because that's one thing that I think we should address tonight, because not everybody's a content creator. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't be working on your brand. So we'll talk about that, because there's so many different ways that corporate professionals should be using LinkedIn depending on their goals and really working on their brands depending on their goals. So I want to make sure that we really truly dive into that, because I know that you've had, people who on your show who work with people who are looking for jobs. I don't do that.
Yep.
I work with people who want to create visibility in the brand so their brand knew them.
Yes, they're brand new them. Yes, that's exactly right. So a brand can know you for many reasons. Like you just said, the first reason, if you're trying to get a job, right? Then you want to get attention from a brand. I've gotten 10 jobs off of LinkedIn without applying. People coming to me because of the content that I post. So I've got jobs as a professor and other things just simply off LinkedIn, just, not having to apply. So a brand new me just from posting. I'm not trying to rhyme, but that's exactly what happened. Right. 100%. And then you just described. So what's the difference? Because people do see on their profile. And if somebody can let us know if you see us, because I don't see any comments, and usually I do. If not, this is being recorded. It'll be posted. And I don't see it on my profile either. So very, very strange.
Oh, I see it. It's live.
Okay. All right. Good. Checking. All right. So that just means nobody's watching us.
See, there we go. Yeah. That's okay. There's 16 people actually watching. Hey, 16 people. We see you.
Say something. But anyway.
I love it. Tori Lorraine Johnson's like, pen and paper ready. We see
Okay,
you.
there we go.
We
Okay,
see
it's
you
not showing up
guys.
on my
And
string.
Christy's
That's
like,
fine.
yes. So you
Okay,
gotta
great.
go with the phone. You know
And
me
you
in
know
this
what?
live.
I see my crew out there. I'm getting text messages on my personal phone like we're here. I see you. You're showing up. All right, thank you. I feel better. Even though I like to talk, and my husband will tell you I will talk to myself or anybody that will listen for hours. I still want to make sure you
I've
guys.
hung out with you and your husband, so
And girl,
yeah.
don't even talk about that night. But speaking of that night, and this is going to take us to our next part of how a brand new you. So we're at this conference in, I don't know, 2018, 2019 in Atlanta. We're both speaking. You go on, they're like, oh, she's going to talk about branding. And it's like a leadership conference. And I'm like, why they have a branding person at a leadership conference? What is she going to talk about? Who is she? How speakers hate on each other.
Of course.
We all do that.
Yeah. Like, so, how is this relevant to my interest right now?
Right, exactly. I'm like, what is your leadership conference? And you got up there and you did the best presentation that I have probably ever seen. Like the graphics of this, I was like, oh, she just killed it. And you tied it into the theme of being seen as a leader. It was just fantastic. And I realized that I had been organically building this brand and doing it. I didn't even know I was doing it till you told me I was.
You have a powerhouse brand.
Like, but then you made it better. You just like perfected, when I started following you. So when we think about it, you say, look, I'm not here to help you get a job. I'm here for you to be seen and be content creators. So let's talk about that on the LinkedIn platform. There's a little button, right, that you can push that, to create that you're a content creator.
Right.
How is that distinguished? What tools do you have that are different than if I don't click that button that I'm a content creator?
Okay, so I would say it really goes down to what your goals are. So if you want to connect and build a network of people that you are like, you're trying to have a more insulated, and I mean strategically insulated network. So that doesn't mean you're only connecting with people you actually shaking hands with, but just whatever your rules are around networking. It's more of a close thing. You don't care if you don't have broad reach of what you share. Then I would say do not choose creator mode, especially if you're not going to be creating content.
Right.
But if you want a broader reach, and again, this is not for everybody, and this is not to force everybody, because not everybody wants to be that social media celeb, right? Or branded and what I call branded and business famous, right? Not everybody's there, and that's okay. So, but if that is your goal, if, for example, that you want to speak on larger platforms, if you want a bigger platform for yourself, if you're writing a book, if you want industry notoriety, or if you want to especially if you work for a large multinational, creating that attention and awareness and credibility in your brand, you may want to, and you're creating thought leadership to impact a lot of people. That's when creator mode is for you. Yeah. And so and then you asked a little bit about what are the accessibility things. So what it does primarily is, typically on LinkedIn, if you go to somebody's profile who's not in creator mode, we'll see their activity, because there's more activity than creation, right? So we'll see what they commented on last, what they liked last, as far as what their activity summary is. If you are in creator mode, what it will list is your last 6 posts. Your last, so it's a different focus, right? Also, another distinction, of just a significant distinction, is the difference between when you go to a creator mode profile, it will say follow as the option, whereas you are connecting on a regular, like a typical LinkedIn profile.
Right.
So this could be good for you if you want to just build a following, but there's also a caveat to that, because of the fact that you have to now manually, as a creator, I got to manually see, were there any opportunities for me to connect at a deeper level where that person just followed me?
Yeah.
Right. You can individually go in and select, no, I don't want to follow her, I want to connect with her. But most people just don't do that on LinkedIn. And just kind of, okay, I'll follow.
That's right. And I
Yeah.
do. I go through, I look and I see like, oh, who's followed me this? Because I'm just curious, who's curious about my content. There may be opportunities to send that follow-up note to say,
Yes.
especially if it's someone that I think could be a potential client. Oh, I saw
Mhm.
you just follow me.
Mhm.
Thank you so much. And then you
Mhm.
made that connection with them.
Mhm.
And hopefully that connection will take you to, other places, so, we talked about, definitely that we could get a job from LinkedIn, from your
Mhm.
brand authority. And I gave the examples of how I've gotten literally 10 job opportunities just based
Right.
off of my LinkedIn profile, not applying for any jobs. And then it's the content creating, right? Like you said, to get followership, brand
Mhm.
recognition, thought leadership, authorship, all of those things. And what I didn't even know happened on LinkedIn, what I found out late last year, I
Mhm.
knew it happened on Instagram. I knew it happened on Facebook. You can even get paid partnerships
Mhm.
on LinkedIn. So I actually was engaged in a paid partnership with LinkedIn last year, which I
Mhm.
didn't even know was
Mhm.
a thing,
Mhm.
So
And that's not available to everybody. So like that's geolocated. So I know that's available in
mhm,
some parts of the US, and like it's very
mhm,
there's something that they're testing out right now, which is
mhm.
awesome. So what we're just seeing is this becoming a more robust platform
Yep.
from, its evolution from strictly a resume site
Right.
to this social network that has a very specific role in our social platform
Yeah.
portfolios.
Yeah.
One other thing that I wanted to mention, and I want to get people thinking about this,
Okay.
and so we've talked about jobs, we've talked about getting clients and
Mhm,
opportunities, but there's something that you're going to see a lot of content come out from me very shortly as we head into
mhm,
this new year.
mhm.
I call it the hidden opportunity market. So just like
Okay.
there's the hidden job market for
Mhm,
when you're looking for jobs, and it's kind of who will get
mhm,
you into a company, and then all of a sudden who knows you, kind of what we're
mhm,
talking about here.
mhm,
But especially within, not even just within large corporations, but there is a hidden opportunity market where you're seeing people who are being selected to speak on panels. You're seeing
mhm,
people selected to be in conferences, in
mhm.
special content creation, in initiatives and campaigns
Yep.
that are inside your company. And also they're being put out to speak at community events,
Mhm,
industry events,
mhm.
and that in itself is a hidden opportunity market that comes from credibility and visibility.
That's right.
So you've got to, if you want to get into that game, the
Mhm,
first thing that you have to do is show that you have the chops to play at that level, because
mhm.
oftentimes people get selected or tapped because someone knows that they can.
Yep.
Right. So
Yep.
I've seen someone speak at a panel, or I've seen some, because what companies do now is they
Mhm.
sponsor their way into conferences so that
That's
they can
right.
have a speaker.
Mhm. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Mhm. And you're right. And so I'm planning a conference for later this year. We're going to talk about, not ready to
Hmm.
talk about it just yet.
Hmm.
But absolutely, this is great visibility. And I would love to hear from the executives of that company who want to show off what their company are doing in terms of culture, in terms of employee
Right.
engagement. Because think about it, we are in the middle of the Great Resignation. I'm going to still talk about work, even though we're talking about
We
career. I
have
can't
to.
help
This is
myself.
all relevant. So,
Cannot help myself. So we're in the middle of the Great Resignation, and you want to bring employees back to work. So sponsoring a conference and sending someone to speak at that conference gives you the opportunity to talk about what you've done to adjust your culture
mhm,
post pandemic versus pre pandemic, right?
right.
So a great opportunity to reestablish your brand, your reputation, get your culture out there. So if I'm one of these people who I say are in the middle right now, because it's very confusing, we've got
Mhm.
high job openings but low unemployment. So it's like, where the workers at? Where they
Yeah.
at? Where they at? Where
Yeah.
the workers
Yeah.
at? I'm like, they sitting around waiting on y'all to adjust your culture before they go back. So that's a great branding opportunity, even for organizations. And if you're an employee at an organization, maybe you're not, like us, independent, but you can still establish both your professional brand, representing your company, and yourself. And
Right.
and believe it or not, a lot of people don't know this. That's what I did for a long time. I worked a full-time
Me too.
job and did the speaking engagements, my every single day off. I was traveling, I was speaking.
Mhm.
And just the way you described it, how did I get those engagements? from posting my thought leadership, posting video clips on LinkedIn, showing that I knew what I was talking about. And then I started to get those invitations.
And also the underlying tip that you probably didn't think about, but is again, your strategy is naturally embedded into what you did. It's naturally embedded into your success. But for those watching right now that might not have thought about this, is in addition to creating that content that showcases the ability that you can put out there and how you serve and what you know, what's in here, what you have to do is develop the strategic audience that needs to see that you can do this. So what you have to do is be strategic about who you're connecting with inside your organization, who then, whether it's a champion, a mentor, a sponsor, whoever that may be, so that it makes that opportunity for them easier for them to refer you. Right. So you've got to start being very strategic and selective. So what I do oftentimes, especially with the clients that I'm working with these days, whether it's like a training client with an entire team, or especially because companies are now looking at who are their employee influencers, for example, right? That influence either culture, talent, attraction, as well as sales. That those are the easiest ones, and marketing as well. But how can they leverage those brands to amplify the voices and the visibility and everything else that becomes very attractive of working at that company? So what I want people to recognize is that you can't wait for the tap anymore. It's the people who are putting themselves out there, because it's hard to ignore awesome. So you need to make sure that your awesome is known, and you need to own it. You need to have the words to talk about yourself in a strategic, functional way. And you also have to think, when you're thinking about your brand, not only are you thinking about your professional goals, short-term, long-term, you've got to embed your performance goals into your brand. And it's a very different, it changes your mindset around branding when you look at, how can my brand serve me in the role that I'm doing right now? Right? How can it serve me in what I want to do next? Especially for people who actually love the company they work for. I know they do exist.
Yes.
Right?
They're still out there.
So how do you show up? And then how do you use your brand instead of, what's typically done is like people just putting up their resume and talking about what they've done instead of what you do now. And it's a big difference. And that will open up doors in a meeting, because what you do, your job of your brand, you are your best source, as far as like, you're only as good as your source. And you are the best source for you, because a lot of times people don't know anything about you until they've looked you up.
That's right.
So what does your brand say about you? What language are you giving other people to start formulating discussions or opinions about you?
Yes.
Right. And it doesn't always mean, and I'll stop talking just a sec. It doesn't always mean you have to create all this content. You have to be strategic in how you place yourself, because most people, unless they're going for that branded and business famous strategy, most people, it's about credibility. So somebody looked me up and they were able to find what they need to formulate an opinion that will get me to what I want to get to.
Yes. And you help people do that, right? Because this is very complicated. This is so, as you talk about it, I'm listening. I'm like, I don't know if I do that or not. So, but it's like,
I see your strategy. Like, and that's the thing, is me being able to articulate the strategy that I see embedded in what people are doing to get what they want.
And that's what you do. And, if you're on here and you're watching this and you're like, wow, I need that strategy. That's what Cher is here for. She does it for individuals. She does it for organizations. And like she just said, what I didn't know is that she goes into organizations and helps them to identify who their brand ambassadors can even be, right? And probably
then work with them through this influencer program, right? Where you have now what I would call a people-powered marketing strategy, right? Where you're leveraging those people within to help build the brand going out. And they just become amplifiers, and they're way better amplifiers than just paying for paid visibility, because that's how most companies are now getting that visibility, right? Is by paid sponsorship ads and stuff like that, when you can use
the people that are there amplifying. So if I think about my partnership with LinkedIn, and they tap me on the shoulder for their Conversations for Change campaign, it was essentially that you got a large following. You can amplify this platform. Like you said earlier, LinkedIn no longer wants to be seen as just a place you put your resume and get a job.
Yeah.
They want to be seen more of you. This is a place where you come for thought leadership. This is a place where we can, affect change in the workplace, in our communities, through our thought leadership, through our discussions. So let's tap a few people on the shoulder who have done that, who have transitioned from not just talking about work, even though I love to talk about work, but how things outside of work or how our personal lives have impacted our work, right?
Exactly.
And so
how the workplace, sorry to interrupt you, and how the workplace is supporting them, because if they can now shine a spotlight on that culture, which is what you go and do, is like you want to, if they've worked on culture, because culture takes work. Yep. Right. So if they've worked on that, now leverage the people who are benefiting from the culture, which now increases your ability to attract talent that want to be there and retain the talent that is already there.
That's right. Yeah. Because another person they tapped, he's had a newborn baby, and he was holding his baby on a Zoom call, and his boss told him, hey, get off Zoom, go take care of your baby. He talked about that. So that was a great example of a work culture. He posted it, and we partnered in this, campaign. So again, just that opportunity. But let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Can you overbrand yourself? Okay. So you can't really see, but I'm going to move my microphone because I have on a shirt that has my picture on it. And it says, let's talk about work. And so my husband and my kids laughed me out the door when these shirts arrived with my picture on it for me to wear me. I thought it was cute. But can you overkill branding? Should you be posting on LinkedIn 5-6 times a day?
No.
Should we be treated like Twitter, where everything comes to our head? What is your thought around over branding or overkill on LinkedIn? Is there even a such thing, or should you just go for it?
There's absolutely such a thing. So one, it has to, first of all, you have to look at aligning with your personality, as far as if that, I'll use your word that. It's not tacky, but let's say that tacky. That's you. That's not absent of you beyond what you're putting out there.
I like to embarrass my kids.
That's right. That's right. And it works. And it works for your personality. So that's not overbranding. But I see a lot of overkill, and it's about finding that balance, especially the overkill, I think, with a lot of people. And the jury, the stats support what I'm about to say, but the jury is still out, because some people, they post 3 times a day and it's working for them, and that's great. But then you'll see that they typically, what they get the most engagement on is not necessarily which will bring them opportunities.
Yep.
Right. So they'll repost stuff. Right. They'll repost videos, that are viral type videos and whatever that have been proven viral elsewhere.
For somebody else. Kind of stuff. Somebody else's brand, but
right.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Or they'll do just word posts and stuff like that, which is all good. But as far as, I would say, the majority of people. So again, I don't work as much with the people who want to be superstars, next level stuff, because that's they're thinking about marketing funnels. They're thinking about more than just their personal brand. Right. I usually catch them early where they eventually become that, but that's not that's not the goal, intended goal. But I would say for most people, okay, I wouldn't suggest more than posting 3 times a week. And for me, that's excessive in the sense of, I'm just not going to, I rather focus on the quality. Yes, you will increase your visibility the more you post, which is awesome. But I think people who post 2-3 times a day, the algorithm doesn't support that.
Yeah.
You'll see that your first post, if it will die the minute you post your second one. So you've got to watch when the engagement starts to peter, and that's depending. Everybody's is slightly different, but as soon as it starts to peter off, then it's time for the next one, which is usually about 2 days in between, and you'll see it. But if you post twice in one day, you'll see they both kind of die off.
You're right. You're right. I post usually, if whatever I want my message to be for that week, whether it's my newsletter or some great content. For me, my time when the algorithm picks up for me is Monday morning, 6:30 a.m.
100%.
That's my time. I mean, I wake up with it ready to go. And then usually that dies off, and I'm ready for my next bit of content on Thursday.
Yeah.
I may post things in between, but those are the things, like you said, I don't really care per se if it has the visibility. I'm not trying to, really prove any kind of thought leadership. It's just, hey, I feel like saying this or showing this picture or
Exactly.
whatever. But you're absolutely right. Those things that I need for my potential clients to see, that I want my followers to learn from, first thing Monday morning, and I'm going to leave it like, do not mess up that algorithm at
Exactly.
all.
And that's something for you, right? Whereas
Right,
like,
right.
I would say the majority of people listening, this doesn't even matter that much because they have more of a credibility strategy in the beginning. So what they want to work on is first make sure they establish a profile that clearly communicates what they do now and why they're so good at it. Like, so what they do now is like, it's a service centric approach to that. So how they help people and then why I can trust them to help me kind of thing. So they've got that. So they're giving me the language to talk about them.
Right.
And then the credibility pieces. So they may not be regular content creators like yourself, where you are putting content, you've developed the art of content creation where it is valuable and effective and you can produce it at a quality level that is consistent and worth consuming. Where some people, they may you want to look at especially the featured section where they can get one or two pieces of really quality content, just start. So they have it kind of pinned to the top of their profile. When people are doing that credibility check, it's like verification of who you
I
are.
love that feature
right?
section.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Like, it's like, oh, this is what I want you to, the first thing I want you to see when you click on my profile. Like, I was just thinking, this post, like, this is what I want you to know about me. And 100%. It shows 3 or 4 right there. You can pin one and it'll show 3 or 4. You can keep scrolling, but I make sure those posts that thought leadership, I've made sure it's featured so that they come to my profile. That's what they see.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Can you believe we're almost out of time?
That's
Okay, we can
crazy.
talk about this forever.
Well, let's say hi to the people because I got them on there. So,
yes. So who's here today?
So Wayne Schumacher's here. Gail Thakkar is here. Trina Horton is here. She loves us both. I see you both. Gerard is here. Sandeep Kumar Verma is here. So some of the comments are not here, but there's like 29 people watching right now. So hi guys, it's not all coming through, just so you know. I can't see anymore.
Okay.
But we just want to say thank you to all of you guys for watching, because that's really important. It's just not coming through today, but
hey, you know what? And I appreciate it. It's on our time zone it's 6 o'clock, so you're either just getting home or getting situated. If you're on the West Coast, you're still at work. So appreciate you tuning in. And this year will be better, everyone.
This year's gonna be
just
good.
Want to say that, this year will be good. This year will be better. We're gonna like you just said, showing. I like to say, I tell my kids, I tell myself every day, get up, show out, right? Find a way to do that in your life every single day. And use this platform. I cannot, give this platform enough credit for what it has done for my career, and then for my business, and then my ability to connect with my audience that have become my surrogate family. I do want to take, before we get off, I know it's 6:30, but do want to take a minute just to thank all of you, because I haven't been on really a lot since I made the announcement about my bipolar disorder diagnosis, and the number of messages that I still get on a daily basis. So supportive, right? And we're going to be talking about that. I'm going to be talking about mental health a lot this year. But you guys have shown that we can remove the stigma from mental health just by your support that you have given. So I do want to take a minute to appreciate that and your continued engagement. We're going to have a great year. We're going to keep talking about work. I'm starting a podcast. Look out for that. The Let's Talk About Work podcast. I am partnering with my good friend, Tony Lorraine Johnson, on that. And other special announcements. My book is coming out this year, so I can't wait to share all of that with you. But Cher, I am so glad to, number one, see you face to face even
know,
through this
right?
virtual wall. That's enough for me for now, but we've got to see each other again
Yep.
this year in
Mhm.
live and in person.
Mhm.
I can't wait for that moment again. And just thank you so much for coming. I called, you said yes. That's such a good friend, such a good partner, and you're just a wonderful person. I look forward to seeing each and every one of your videos and content that you post. I do everything you say. Like if you say it, it's gold. Like I'm doing it. And I hear that from everybody else. So no more hashtag where's Cher. You're not allowed to take a break. No, just kidding.
Yeah, I got this one coming out probably early or yeah, I'm not gonna do it this week. I'm gonna post it on Monday.
Okay.
And it's about it's about how Chance the Rapper. I don't know if you guys saw it, so this is you can get a sneak peek.
Okay.
He was on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon.
Okay.
And it's like basically a way of changing your brand. So he basically like he's branded as Chance the Rapper, so you know he raps, but he just sang country music on it's amazing. Anyways, all I have to say is sometimes what you need to do is create content that shows another facet of your brand so that people can know what else you bring to the table, especially once you've branded yourself for one thing. Anyways, I'll stop talking, but yeah.
That's right. And speaking of, another thing that I'm going to just quickly put here, you know, I'm rebranding. It's not showing up, but if you go to my profile, you will see that I am rebranding my company from Performance to Renew to the Natasha Bowman Consulting Group. And so therefore I have a brand new profile pics. Thank you, Nick Nelson, the brandpreneur. I gotta give a shout out to him for my brand new wonderful pics. It had been 5 years, so way too long at my age to be waiting to get profile pics done.
I gotta go back.
Yeah, so but so much to share. I could just keep talking. I will shut this down because I didn't want to go past 6:30. But thank you so much for coming. You are the best. And listen, everyone, you've got your tips because in December, right, of 2022, you'll be able to say a brand new you. All right, everybody. I'll see you next week, Wednesday, here, 6 o'clock for Let's Talk About Work. We'll go out singing. Let's talk about
work, baby.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a great night.